Hello beautiful people, I hope that you guys are doing well. So there's a lot that is happening in our collective these days. We had this eclipse which was very powerful in Libra, the solar eclipse or ring of fire on the 14th of October. Unfortunately I couldn't make any videos because I just moved, so thank God. I was in the process of moving for almost a week. I can say everything happened very fast, so everything was very smooth as well. But I was really busy with settling down, and basically just today is the first day where I feel like I'm settled and I can make a video finally. So yeah, there was this eclipse in Libra, the solar eclipse, and that was bringing up loads of relationship kind of related things, related themes. Also, it was happening in the South Node, so very much related to the past and how we are relating to other people, because Libra is about relationships. Libra is also a very diplomatic sign, and it is wanting diplomacy, it is wanting equilibrium, it is wanting peace, and it wants balance. So basically it is the zodiac sign of justice. And it is very interesting that what is happening in the world is the exact opposite of that. So I want to talk about that a little bit as well. And yeah, we have another eclipse, a lunar eclipse on the 28th of October as well. And this time that is happening in Taurus, and that is a North Node eclipse, lunar eclipse. And that will bring up themes related probably to the banking system, to the financial system as well. But yeah, I want to see what the cards are saying, and also what is very interesting about this eclipse is that, as I said, it's happening in the North Node, which is talking about our direction and in which direction we are heading and our future and what we want our future to look like. Okay, so it will bring up greed related issues as well, because Taurus is a sign of finances. It is also the sign of resources in the world, so it can bring up themes like that. Okay, it can be a final kind of push to examine our resources, to examine what the resources of the world are and how we are standing and where we are standing in terms of that. Okay, but let me pull a few cards and then I will talk about what is the esoteric meaning, I would say, of what is happening in the world right now. And you know what conflict I'm talking about, yeah? All right, so Spirit, what is going on in the collective right now? What is going on in the collective right now? Collective energies, please, with the eclipses. Okay, we have the Eight of Coins, Four of Swords, the Tower, of course, the Tower. What else would it be? Okay, so what is going on with the eclipse in the collective, the current energy, Spirit? Current energies in the world, Spirit. So we have Page of Wands. Let me just put the cards so I can read them. Yeah, we have King of Wands, Five of Swords, the Chariot, Ace of Coins. Okay, bottom of the deck, the Knight of Cups, that is reversed. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is talking about temporary alienation from one's needs, or one's needs, wants, and a person's desires as well. So our desires perhaps and our emotions, because our desires are kind of lying in our emotions and our emotional world. So our emotional world is a direct compass towards our desires and where our boundaries are lying. Now, what I see here with the Tower is the perfect representation of the Tower moment that is happening in the world right now, and the sudden change of the events. And it's very interesting that we have the Four of Swords next to it, because the Four of Swords is actually the card of taking a step back and examining our situation, retreating a little bit, and perhaps feeling a little bit defeated as well. So it reminds me a little bit like the calm before the storm that was building up before this particular thing that kicked in the Gaza situation, Hamas. I just wanted to mention that I don't know much about this situation because I didn't look into it deeper. Obviously, there's a history there, a history of conflicts. And I want to be neutral. Okay, I don't want to comment on who belongs to whom, or sorry, what land belongs to whom. I don't want to comment on that because that is not the point here. The point is that people are suffering and wars are going to be happening until we don't learn the lesson of the ego, like how the ego works, and until we don't integrate the lessons of the ego, we don't integrate the ego. So the conflict that is happening in the world will keep happening in different parts of the world. Okay, propaganda will keep happening as well. And I'm not belittling what is going on, the seriousness of the situation at all. And people are suffering in the process. And I know they are suffering and people are dying in the process. But what I'm trying to say here is that what is going on is the representation of an unintegrated ego. It is the representation of an unintegrated consciousness. And the propaganda that is happening is also the representation of the fear consciousness that is in the world. Because with fear, we can start conflicts, right? With fueling fear, we can fuel conflicts even further. And going back to this reading, the Four of Swords is like taking a step back. The Tower next to it is like something that is happening all of a sudden, even though there was a build-up of energies before of that. And we have the Eight of Coins, which is the Eight of Pentacles that is reversed, which is saying that there's like a workaholism, there's like a lot of effort invested into something that is not bringing the results or is not bringing the desired results. So instead of taking a step back and examining our situation, it feels like all of a sudden like something is happening that will force us to do that. It will force us as a collective to do that, to take a step back and to examine what is going on a collective level. Because what is going on in certain parts of the world is the representation of the collective energies, as I said. And it's an opportunity for all of us to examine where we are standing. And there's an opportunity here for us to heal whatever is unhealed and to integrate whatever is unintegrated. Because by doing that, we are healing that situation as well. So basically, what this reading is saying is that there's this King of Wands energy and Page of Wands, which is resentment and anger in the collective, and then even hate. So there's a lot of this impulsive energy, this fire energy. Five of Swords is competition. It's like fighting our own demons. As you can see, the person there is punching the mirror, is punching an invisible enemy, but the enemy is inside of him. Right? So he's perceiving the mirror as the enemy. And I like this card because it is representing perfectly what is going on in our internal world as well. That whatever we are perceiving to be an external enemy is actually inside of us. And the external world is only mirroring what is inside of us. So we are projecting that anger onto the other person, okay? And again, we are doing that. No matter what race, religion, what group we are doing that all the time. We like it or not. And that is a wake-up call for all of us, okay? Because we are all having the archetype of a warrior, an archetype of a person that is hating the other one and is perceiving the other one as the enemy. We all have that archetype within us. So this is all about the integration of that particular archetype and dealing with our own demons. And instead of projecting our fear onto a particular group and taking sides, we have to look at our own demons. Okay, so that's why I want to be neutral here, because I don't care about any propaganda. I don't care about this group being better than the other one. I don't care about that. And I don't want comments like I had at the Ukraine-Russia situation many times, that, oh, you are like pro-Russia or you are like whatever. I'm pro-nothing. Okay, I'm pro-nothing. I do see the propaganda. I do see through the propaganda, but I'm pro-people. And I will remain pro-people in this situation as well. Now we have the Chariot, which is representing the current situation as the war, okay? And we have number 7. And the whole thing started on the 7th of October, okay? So just before the first eclipse, and that is very interesting. And numerologically, the number 7 is representing expansion and is representing a spiritual number. Okay, the Chariot is movement forward, so number 7 is movement as well. It can be movement towards a future. It is action as well. Number 7 is action orientation, like being oriented towards taking action, towards finding a particular path, but then it's a masculine energy. But it has a very spiritual significance as well. And 7 is a magic number, and 2023, our year, like this year, is being represented by number 7, yeah, if you add the numbers, and that is movement and expansion, as I said. So it is also very interesting here that the whole thing started on the 7th of October, which is the number of movement, and any inverted energies can be used as a means to implementing something that is being represented by a particular number. So if we talk about expansion and we are talking about spiritual growth, let's implement a war on that particular day, so that can represent a spiritual war. Yeah, so we are inverting the energies. I just had like a download some time ago, but then I forgot. So that's why it's so important for me to talk about something when I get it in that moment, because I forget. 1 second, let me think. Not sure, but anyways, it will come back. So we have the Tower as well, which is like a sudden shift, sudden shock. So in a sense, all that happened like coming out of nowhere, because no one expected it. There was a build-up of energies for many years. So probably like those of us that are very sensitive when it comes to energies, we could sense that something is in the air, that something will kick in. Another wild card, obviously. But what is very interesting here is that the Tower is 16, 1 plus 6 is 7. Okay, so number 7 has a big significance here. Another thing about number 7 is that it can represent like unfortunate events as well, and it can represent also anxiety and fear. So number 7 has that. That's why there are lots of people that are battling with anxiety in 2023. I mean, this is not the only year when that is happening, but now it almost seems like we are being forced into a corner, and we have no other choice but to look at our coping mechanisms and to look at whatever we are afraid of, like whatever we want to escape, basically. Like those situations are being presented in our lives, because this is finally the year, I would say that it's the year of plot twists and culmination points, and you can no longer escape whatever you were afraid to escape. You have to face your demons, basically. And you have to understand that, again, like anything that you are seeing on the outside world is the projection of your inner demons. So, you know, whenever there's a situation like this, a crisis situation, we are always asking ourselves, what is that we can do? And the answer is, look at your own life and make a cleanup in your own life, and kind of make friends with your own demons, make friends with your own anxiety, with your own anger, because there's a lot of competition here. There's a lot of impulsive energy. There's a lot of anger. And when there's a boiling point of that anger, which is this eclipse season, and every single eclipse season is going to be a culmination point of these energies, right? And eclipse seasons are always culmination points of archetypes as well, of the 12 archetypes that are in the zodiac. So we are kind of being faced with those energies and shadow aspects of our archetypes and the collective archetypes. Yeah, it just came back to me, that download. So basically, number 7 has a big significance here, because also Libra is ruling the 7th house right? It's being ruled by Venus. 7th house is the house of relationships. Is again like representing the international affairs as well, which are relationships between different countries. And the whole thing started on the 7th as well, in Libra season, which is ruling the 7th house. So number 7 has a big significance here. Yeah. Okay, Ace of Coins reversed is representing certain things that the lunar eclipse in Taurus will bring up on the 28th. Okay, Spirit, what is that the lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to bring up in the collective on the 28th of October? What is that it will bring up? Okay, we have the Devil that is reversed. So addiction related issues and justice is reversed, and toxic patterns. Yeah, we have number 15, the Devil. You know, if you think about the 7th of October, when the war situation started, and you add up the numbers, like 7th of October 2023, it will give you the number 6. And number 6 is like nurturing. It's a very beautiful number because it's a harmonious relationship. Like it's representing harmonious relationships with people, nurturing qualities and love. Unconditional love as well, number 6. And we have 15 here, the Devil, which is number 6. And that is reversed, okay? So number 6, again, has a big significance here, because when you are implementing something that will give you, like numerologically in the number 6, that can be used for inverted purposes again. Like it's an inverted kind of method, occult method, like to invert the energies. And what is the inversion of number 6, right? The inversion of the significance of the number 6 is the opposite of unconditional love, which is fear. Is the opposite of nurturing, which would be separation in the collective, right? So with the Devil reversed and the 4 of Wands reversed, I feel like what the collective is learning and what is happening in the collective will be injustice when it comes to finances, banking systems, financial systems as well. And on an individual level is injustice in our own lives. Okay, 4 of Wands, something is happening outside of our environment, outside of our home. Also, I feel like 4 of Wands reversed is representing the needs, being in touch with the needs of others, resources. Again, how we are handling resources, that's Taurus. It will be eclipsed, you know, the banking system. Certain leaders might be exposed as well in this particular period. Certain leaders, and we have Venus as well in Virgo. Certain leaders and the status quo of certain leaders might change, because Virgo is bringing this energy, like Venus in Virgo is bringing this energy of I don't know how to put in words, kind of like discipline in certain areas where there was no discipline, and shedding light on areas where it seemed to be discipline, but there's no longer discipline. Or there's never been discipline in that area, in that particular area. So are we willing to let go of certain dependencies or certain addictions as well, or toxic patterns, when it comes to our relationship with ourselves and then our own resources? 1 second. Yeah, and 10 of Cups. Yeah, like our environment, family related things. 1 second, because I have one card on the floor as usual. And that is the 6 of Swords. Interesting. So a transition in the family life, transition in our resources as a family, as a collective, because the 10 of Cups is also representing the resources. And then it's not the 10 of Coins, it's not the 10 of Pentacles, but it's the 10 of Cups, like emotional resources as well. And do we have enough emotional support and emotional resources in our immediate environment, in the environment that we are living in? Are we in touch with the needs of others and our own needs? Because the Six of Swords is saying that it is time for a transition. It is time to communicate also what we need. But the Six of Swords is like leaving a situation, and there's a demon there as well. Leaving a situation behind which we don't want to leave, but we have to because we are forced to leave the situation. Okay, so there are certain patterns and certain collective patterns that might show up that will force us to leave certain situations that are unjust, or they have been always unjust, but we haven't noticed that. Okay, that can be related to finances, that can be related to our own resources, or just needs. Okay, because Taurus is representing our own inner resources and our own needs as well. Our personal needs and how we are communicating our personal needs. Okay, we have Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck, which is kind of feeling stuck in a particular situation, kind of feeling stuck in our own lives, and a need to liberate ourselves. So this is representing those patterns that we are refusing to see because we have certain mental blockages, or we have certain problems with our communication, because swords are always representing that communication, which we need to examine again. We need to look at those things that we refuse to look at, those things that are keeping us stuck. That person is being tied there, is being fed by another person, but is refusing to do that. So what is that we are being fed with? What is that we are feeding ourselves with? Is that the truth, or is just a coping mechanism and a lie again? And look, there's another person that is looking there, which is representing our shadows, or is representing the awareness, actually. So either like looking at our shadows, or operating from more awareness, and actually both, because those things are related to each other. And we have the Hermit as well, which is spiritual transformation. It's very interesting because there can be certain events too that will put the collective in this particular mode of, we are being stuck now and we don't know how to handle certain things. We don't know because we don't see the forest from the tree. This is what I'm hearing. We don't see the forest from the trees. Let me pull some cards from this deck. What are the questions? The questions, like individually and collectively. Okay, let me pull one card for the individual and one for the collective. So, questions for the individual, okay. To where does my soul want to travel? That is interesting. When we travel, we grow, we open up our little worlds to more adventure, thrills, patience, understanding, trust, and oneness. Our hearts and minds expand and our desires are satisfied. Where is your soul calling you to visit? So on an individual level, there's the Six of Swords energy, which can indicate also travel, but then a transition. So there's a transitioning, like a transitioning phase for us on an individual level. And that can be symbolic as well, like the traveling of the consciousness, the traveling of the soul, the awareness, like expanding our awareness a little bit more. But that can be literal travel as well. Okay, one question for the collective spirit. Okay, one question for the collective in this eclipse season. How can I deepen my trust right now? So trust-related questions in the collective. Who do we trust? Do we trust the propaganda? Do we trust the news, mainstream media? You see, the Six of Swords can represent the internet as well, the news, information, how the information is traveling. Do we trust that? Or we trust our own discernment? Trust, surrender, let go of the will. You can trust yourself. Trust fully in yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety, and when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. So I feel like there are some safety related questions as well in the collective that will arise, and that is in regards to resources, finances. Do we feel safe in the world? Do we feel like this world is safe for the next generations? Like in terms of how we are handling certain conflicts, certain crisis situations as well, how we are handling our finances, how we are distributing the resources. So all these crisis situations are also trying to draw our attention to how we are helping in this process and what is the best way to help. Because you can hand out an external help as well, a helping hand. It can be money, it can be donation. But essentially the biggest help that you can do on the collective and on humanity at large is to look at your own consciousness and expanding your own awareness and integrating your own shadows, your own ego, and transmuting your own traumas, the ancestral traumas, and working on those ancestral wounds. Because whatever we are experiencing now is a culmination point of those ancestral wounds, of those patterns as well, that have been passed generation upon generation. The hate and the resentment and the anger that was passed generation upon generation. Do we want that word? Or we want to deepen our trust in ourselves more and in each other more? So guys, this is what I'm seeing. There would be a lot more to discuss here, obviously, but I don't want to make this video too long. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much, everyone who is supporting my work. If you want a personal reading, then you will find information about that down below. And also, if you want to support my work, then there are some links down below as well. There's PayPal. You can buy me a coffee. Thank you so much, everybody who is already doing that. You guys are amazing. I'm so grateful. Take care, and let's hope for the best, for peace in the world and more unity, really, rather than separation. So have a nice day, everybody, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye.